Well, then it's the final round of... I'm still wearing this. I was thinking I'll take it off. Because it's very big. Look at my thing. Massive. It's cold. It's keeping me warm. But I'll take it off so I kind of look like a human. Human. It's nice. I sometimes sleep with it on. Let's just make sure I'm not indecent. Ow! Start it well. With a little boo-boo. What's it called? Electric shock. That one. How's my hair? Okay, great. Okay, time to start. We're on to number 15 in sort of life lessons from 2022. Well into 2023 now. And my battery on my computer is going to run out soon. So let's get on with it. Number 15. Take time off the dopamine world. This is very important. I've ran a few little retreats, which have been super good for mental health and really readjusting to not being available to the world, not being on the phone, having walks outside without the phone, exercising, being really mindful with yoga and stretching and the body, cooking together. I feel like it's super important, especially in this day and age, to try and get back to the proper, real, true, deep values. Essentially, the kind of world that's not connected all the time, that's not driven by dopamine. You know, these mobile phones and bloody drugs and alcohol and even eating. Just the bombardment of media, everything all the time is horrific for mental health. So trying to switch off from that as much as possible. I think I'm going to also do a kind of no social media challenge for myself soon. So I feel like it would be about the right kind of time. So I've gone like full days without using my phone and stuff, and every single time. To start with, I had such anxiety linked with not being reachable, not being available. But my God, when I grew up in Finland, there were no mobile phones. You just relied on, kids going out and coming home at some point, and you had to call your friends' landlines and stuff. So I'm going to try this year to really focus on creating that kind of environment for myself as well, increasingly so, where just the real things matter and not the flashing lights and the new things all the time, but the things that really matter. And as part of the retreat as well, I bought an ice bath, and it's just one of the most amazing things. If you can, get into an ice bath, get into the cold sea, get into avanto, which is the Finnish thing where they drill a hole in the ice in the winter, dunk in. It's really good for you, unless you've got underlying heart conditions, in which case please don't do it. This is not medical advice. Yeah, super good. I wish they had saunas here. Sauna. It is sauna. Because I'd love to go for a dip in the sea. I've actually just been invited today by a really cool social media guy who came in for a session at my gym, and he's just like, his content's unreal, and he'd been sea dipping and just said, come along next time. I was like, oh my God, that'd be so cool. Let's see what I'm... But if there's no sauna, I don't know how to warm up. I've got like warm clothes and stuff, but we'll see if that happens. I think I want to do it. Oh, scary stuff. Number 16, keep learning new things. Last year I got a CBT, practitioner certificate, cognitive behavioral therapy. In my work, when I see private clients in my gym, I feel like a big part of the whole thing is focusing on mental health and what feels good and what is good for the person as a whole. And especially since the COVID shit, people's mental health has really deteriorated, and you can just sense it, how people aren't really happy with themselves. They're not that used to hanging out with people anymore. I feel like people have become quite timid, and this scares me to bits. So I wanted to just do like that therapy course I've also got a degree in psychology, but it's never too much understanding into the human mind, because it's all we've got. I'm also on a hypnotherapy course that I need to finish, find the time to get on it, or actually not prioritize the time, because there's always time. It's just a matter of priorities. It's very interesting. I just need to sort out all sorts of things that I feel like are more important at the moment right now. Number 17, acquire pets. Last year, oh my goodness, I was really close. I was really wanting to get a dog, a hypoallergenic dog, because I'm massively allergic to cats and dogs. And we've actually got a friend who was trying to breed their Samoyed dog. White, fluffy, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And it didn't work out, which maybe is a good thing, because it means that I couldn't have a dog easily. So instead, I wanted to get a pet that's I just wanted it to be sociable and intelligent. And so what's the next one in line? Pet rats. So I've got 3 pet rats. They're over there. You can see their cage very slightly just here. One of them is an absolute sweetheart. She's called Cappuccino, and the other 2 are slightly more timid and slightly dickish, but they're great, low maintenance, and I can just play around with little Cappuccino all the time. I feel like actually it's been really, really good for my mental health. Just to grab a rat out every now and again and just play with her, and just, it's great. She's really good at learning. I'm just talking about the one, because she's the only one that's really interested in socializing and learning stuff. And just having something to cuddle, or just to start with, I just sat there observing them, just watching them play, and sometimes you just feel like, God, are they fighting? That's not very nice. And you just feel like, no, this is nature. I feel like I should interfere and be like, no, don't hurt each other. Be nice. But actually, they're animals. They'll be just fine. That's what they're meant to do. They need to find their hierarchy. And I feel like I've learned a lot. And it's definitely been a really great opportunity to have pets. Also, they don't live for too long. So maybe that'll be a great lesson for the kids to hopefully, this sounds terrible, but there is a good point to it, to hopefully lose a pet before they have to lose a human, someone really dear to them, close to them first. Because I really struggled when I was 9 years old and I lost my grandma. I was probably still today the most painful thing I've ever had to go through, and it was a greatly impactful thing in my life. And so hopefully the girls don't need to experience such pain with grief, at least anytime soon. Next one, number 18, get a library card. I can't believe it. I've not been to a library for years and years and years and years and years. And then I'm thinking I'd really like to get something new to read. I'd like to, just read more. I read a lot on, these devices and stuff, but really reading a book, physical book. But then I'm thinking, I hate clutter. I try and minimize the amount of clutter and stuff I've got in the house. And books are beautiful and pretty, but I just kind of don't have the space for them. And I really like the idea of having the digital copies, so that you can obviously read on a Kindle or something when you go traveling. And just, it feels, terrible to say, but it feels like quite an old-fashioned thing to just have books around. And I adore people who've got a bookshelf full of books, but I just don't feel like I've got the priority space for a bookshelf. I've got a mini one where the sort of TV is standing on, but that's already full of books. So library is a great way to actually go in, and now they do you can borrow ebooks as well. It's fantastic. You can go in and just pick some things, and actually it's really nice walking in. There's obviously sections for different genres and topics and stuff, and just walking in and just finding inspiration that way. I found quite good books on philosophy and mindfulness meditation, and that were quite interesting, and just sometimes browsing through it, I even found a book, I think this is about at least a year ago now, when my mum was visiting the time before last. I was sitting in the library and I read an entire book. It was just about 100 pages on Finnish sisu. If you don't know what sisu, S-I-S-U, means, post came through, then Google it. It's like the Finnish courage and resilience and that kind of stuff. It's a great word, and there's a whole book on that in our library in Newcastle, which is just great, so people can learn about that. But yeah, definitely worth it. And I've had like audiobooks and stuff through that library membership, and it's obviously free of charge. Unbelievable. So worthwhile. I actually need to get on now to get something else to listen to, because normally I just listen to podcasts and stuff, but such a good thing to do, to sometimes just sit down and really read or listen to something long form. Great. Get a library card. Next, number 19, don't spend on offers. You know, you get like buy one, get one free, and just any offers, 50% off, 80% off, and it feels like, oh gosh, such a good discount. I can't just bypass it. I must buy it. Or, oh, 2 for 1, I must get the other one as well because it's free. Unless you need it, it's not free. It's still spending money. And it took me ages to wrap my head around this. It's like, well, no, if I like it and it's discounted, then it's worth the purchase. And it really bloody isn't. It's so often that people are discounted for a reason, and they've got these, you know, the companies, they'll have to have the standard price on display for 28 days, I think, or at least I think this applies in online. When I've done some online marketing, it has to be there for 28 days. So basically you can set the price point at anything, and then you can discount it to anything you want. And unless it's something that's really truly valuable and useful for you, then just don't buy it. You know, if it's food that you're going to eat anyways, absolutely go for the great deals and offers. But I really learned that the quality just tends to be inferior, or maybe it's just not the perfect colour of clothing that I really would have chosen. If it's not something that you would have really chosen without the offer, not worth it. That's definitely something like a life-saving thing. God, hopefully not. Money-saving thing for me. Super useful. Next, 20. Ooh, penultimate lesson or thing from 2022. Fast. Whoa, fast. Not slow fast. Fast, as in don't eat fast. I've actually changed this to the lesson being trying new things. So, because fasting is really healthy. We're supposed to feel hunger as humans. It's really good for cell renewal and fighting even cancerous cells and just all sorts. Autophagy, I think it's called, but I need to learn more about that. I'm not an expert. I need to acquaint myself with more of that stuff. But fasting it's great how after about 24 hours, when the hunger subsides, you just get this insane clarity and no need to eat, no hunger. I just feel like it's like this kind of like a laser focus, but in a different kind of, on a plane of consciousness. And it's definitely worth trying. Not to the point of, you know, if you've got any sort of problems with eating disordered eating, anything like that, maybe then steer off it. But I just found it really, really a good lesson, if nothing else. I've done a 7-day fast before, and I don't really tend to lose weight on fast, which is medically, I don't know how it's possible, but I've done several 3, 5, and 1 or 2 7-day fasts, pretty much water fasts. I don't lose weight. So if anyone knows how that's possible, please let me know, because if I'm not getting any calories in and I'm still doing stuff, it shouldn't really be possible not to lose weight. And it hasn't gone after either, so don't know. But that's not the reason I'd do it for anyway. Just do it as a little bit of a challenge. Definitely worth a shot. Give it for give it 2 days, 2-day fast, because the first day can be a bit of a struggle. Hunger comes in, it's just it's like fighting, but then it just goes, it just disappears, and then you can enjoy the world of a fasting state. Last one, 21. Fight FOMO. Fear of missing out. FOMO, FOMO. I have to say, this is a really tricky one for me because in a way, I feel like I'm not, like, I don't really get bad FOMO or anything. And I make my own decisions, whatnot. But I still do notice that there is this social media thing when you see your friends having a good time without you or something, and you're like, oh. But then you think about, well, how great were those parties? It's like after a party, someone might say, we had an amazing time. But then when you're there, when you've been there, and then people say afterwards they had an amazing time, it's like, was it that amazing? Was it really? Was it really? Especially if drinking's involved. I don't know. I'm kind of like feeling really like clear-headed at the moment. I'm just feeling like I haven't had a drink since the new year, and I just feel like I'd rather do something that's truly for myself. Doesn't involve any substances, nothing like that, and especially if there's any events or things that you get invited to or you could attend, just saying no is such a valuable skill, because I feel like a lot of people struggle to say no, and me included. Like me included. Just say yeah. And I'm the kind of a person, if I say yes, I'm not a canceller. So unless something really, I just don't tend to then cancel. So then I'm kind of locking myself into this, all right, I've said yes straight away, and then that means I'm going. And it's like weighing up the things of, if it's going to be that useful for you. But if it's, say, like a person you don't really care about, it's their wedding day or anything, their cousin's christening or something, anything. If you're not feeling it, just don't go. You don't need to be rude. You can just say, I'm sorry, I can't make it this time. Because we can make our own decisions. And if somebody judges us based on that, then that's a them problem. That is a them problem. It's like, if you don't need to go, you don't need to do, I'm talking to myself here, don't need to go and do anything if you don't feel like it. And that's okay. Because self-care and self-love is just at the root of happiness. That's that. We're done. I'll now upload this. Give us a like. That's Newcastle for give us a like. Give me a, I don't know. I don't need to give me a like. You can leave a comment if you've got any lessons, anything valuable that you feel like would be a good thing to add to my list, maybe for this coming year, next year. It'd be really cool to hear from you. But yeah, obviously do the subscribing and whatnot if you want. And if you've got something to say, come over to Instagram. You can find me at Erica_Helsinki, I think. Erica Helsinki, you'll find me. Drop me a message and I shall catch you next time. Have a lovely day and look after yourself and your loved ones, and make sure to chill out. Peace out.